Hello, I'm JR, the founder of Fieldstone. Today, the task at hand is maintaining customer and job site information. This is something that you'll likely be doing when your customers call in for service. So on this screen, I'm just going to quickly go through what's on the screen. So after you log in, there's a customers link at the top left that you can click on right up here. Click on that and you'll get this customer screen. You'll get a list of all your customers here. You can page through them. If I had more than, this is a test account, so I've only got 4 in here, but you're likely to have several hundred, however many customers you have loaded. If you have customer data you'd like to import, you can contact us and we can help you get it. If you've already got it in a digital format, then we can help you get it loaded into Fieldstone so that you don't have to type it all in. The first scenario we're going to go through is when a customer calls in and you want to figure out if you've done business with them before. You get their name, and let's say that Susan Archer called in. So we can just search for, you can search for their first name, and you can see she comes up here in the search results. You can search for her last name. That's okay. You can search for a part of her address, her shipping address, 1738. That should work. If, I don't know if the city of her address would help, but you could also search by that if you thought that you could find it that way. But we can see that we're going to search for Susan. She called in because she doesn't have any heat, and we can see that we've done business with her in the past, so we click on her. When we click on her record, we get all her information that comes up. You can see her shipping address, her billing address is the same as her shipping address. We've got her phone number and her email. We'd want to confirm that with her when she calls in, make sure that it hasn't changed. If it has, then we can edit and update her information. At the bottom of this screen, you can see job sites. Now, Fieldstone keeps track of customers and job sites separately, and it links them together. So Ms. Archer has one job site that she's the owner of, the Archer Residence, and it's listed down here. That's her label for it is home, and then the name of it is the Archer Residence, and it's got the physical address right there. Now, if there was a piece of information that Ms. Archer needed to update, we need to update for her, we click on Edit, and you get an edit screen, and you can edit any of the information that you need to. Let's say that she got a different phone and her number changed. So let's say now she's 444-8888. And it's still her mobile number, and she is still okay with us texting or calling her on that number. Then we go ahead and make sure that we can review the other information with her, make sure her email address is up to date. And she says, yes, that's still up to date. Her shipping address hasn't changed. Her billing is same as her shipping. All that's the same. Now, if she had changed her billing address, let's say she decided to get rid of her mailbox at her house and pay for a P.O. box, maybe now she has a P.O. box. And so maybe her billing address is P.O. Box 1241, 2414 or whatever. So we update that information, and then we can click Save. And then her information gets updated. So you can see her phone number was updated, and her billing address was updated to the P.O. box instead of her shipping address. And that's, now she's all up to date. Now, we're going to go back to customers, and we're going to say that somebody called in that we've never done business with before. So someone else calls in, let's say, we'll do a cartoon character. Let's say Yosemite Sam calls in. So I don't know if I can spell Yosemite. It's E. Yosemite. No, he's not in there. So what we want to do in the case where he's not in the system yet is we click the little plus icon up here at the top right. We click on that plus button, and we're going to get a screen where we can add him in. So we say Yosemite, and his last name is Sam. and you don't have to, but I'm gonna set him as a Mr. You can leave that as none, or you can set the prefix to whatever you need to set it to. If the person has a suffix that they need to use, then you can put that on there: junior, senior, second, third, fourth, etc. You put those in there. Typically, if it's a commercial customer or an industrial customer, you might want to put their title or their position for the company they work for and their company name on here. If it's a residential customer, most people leave those blank. The time zone, if they're not in the same time zone that your business is, then you may need to change that. Normally, you won't have to change it. You want to put their phone number in so you can get in touch with them. We'll put that in there. A label for the phone number. Maybe that's their mobile phone. Maybe it's their home phone. And then you want to set their contact preference. So how do they want you to contact them on that phone number? Do they only want calls? Do they only want text and SMS messages? Or is it okay to send them either one? And then below that, we're going to set their email. So we'll say Yosemite Sam at Fieldstone.io. Oh, that's where the label goes. So we're going to put the email address over here in the email address box, and the label is we'll say that's his home email address. And then we're going to get his address. Let's see, we've got a couple test addresses here. We'll use 1015 Richmond Avenue, and that's Stanton 24401. And we'll say that his billing is the same as his shipping. That works the same way you saw on the edit screen. So if they have a different billing address, you can put that in. Otherwise, you can just click the button and make them the same. And then the last option when you're adding this customer is if they is whether or not to create a job site with the customer. Normally, you leave that box checked to create the job site with a customer for a residential customer, the owner or the tenant. If the customer you're adding is not associated, does not require work at their shipping address or their billing address, then you would uncheck that. So if it's a property manager or business owner that's calling you for service, but their address is not the address that they need service at, then you would leave that unchecked, and then you would create the work site separately from the customer. This is just a convenience to go ahead and create a work site from the shipping address of the customer, because that's normally what you would want to do. And so we're going to say, create the job site with the same shipping address that the customer is using, and the customer is going to be the owner of that job site. You could also pick tenant down here. In this case, manager. If it was a property manager, that probably wouldn't make sense unless the property manager is actually living on site at the property they manage. And then once all your information is in, you want to go through and review it. Once you know it's complete and it's accurate, then you click on Save. And then we're back to where we were looking at the last customer, where we can see all their information. So you can see all the information we added in here. And now this customer is ready for the next step in a future release of Fieldstone, would be to create a new job for the customer. But we'll talk about that in a future video. And until then, have a great day, and thanks for watching.